I will.
Thanks, buddy. Say hi.
Hi.
Good job. You want to press this button up top?
This is the Track Day Designs R34 GTR. I took it in as a whole car. It had already been getting some track days in on it. He decided that he wanted to go a little bit more serious with the build, and so here we are. Actually, to rewind a little bit, we were here like 2 years ago. This car was in my old garage, if you happen to catch that it was under a car cover most of the time. We just ran into issues with the start date, when we'd actually be able to pull this off, when I have the space to pull it off. And as you can see now, it is in a much better home than it was previously in my small little 2-car garage, and now I think we can successfully pull off this job the correct way. So where did we get started? We know that we're going to cage the car, so that's going to be the very first step that we take. So in order to make that job easier, I have gutted most of the interior. The only things that I have left were amenities that he wanted to keep OE, which will be the dash, so that we can plan the through bars, or the A-pillar through location, the door panels, because it was specified that he would like to keep the door panels. I'm probably going to keep the stock center consoles, so that stayed. Everything else is stripped out, gutted, headliner, etc. We did all this for a couple of reasons. One, we're going to, well, I guess first off, we're taking it down to Austin, Texas, to Walker Pro Motorsports. My friend Russell is going to be doing the cage work on this car. And when we take it there this weekend, we're going to be sitting the driver in the car, placing his seat location for his height and where he wants to sit, so that it's got a comfortable CG. And then we'll do a pedal box, most likely. I'll work on the shifter, and I'll probably extend the steering wheel back to him to make everything work. That's kind of the basis of the inside of the car. I went ahead and I pulled the engine. Groundbreaking. You've all seen a GTR without an engine under the hood, I'm sure. I went ahead and pulled the engine for a couple of reasons. Number one, we're going to do part of the roll cage contacting the rear of the strut tower. So I actually completely emptied out this area to make Russell's life easier. And then over there, I actually left some of the complications in place, like the booster, it's a surplus of vacuum for the brake booster, because it's an ITB car, which is probably going to go anyways, but I wanted him to understand the obstacles that were going to be in the way. That way he doesn't build something and then later on we go to install it and it's a oops situation. So under the hood's gutted, interior's gutted as far as we need to for the roll cage. I'll take it a lot further whenever it gets back. We'll start plugging excess holes, we'll fill excess gaps in panels. We'll start building everything in for the fuel cell, and we'll start doing the mounts for the rear wing, and it's all going to kind of be an intricate flow from start to finish. But first things first, we need to do the cage. It'll come back. This is going to go bye-bye. We have a new carbon skin for the roof that we're going to be doing. We'll go through the interior, we'll start doing the fuel cell, we'll do the pedal box, do all the modifications for the driver position. And in the meantime, I'll also start working on the engine. I'll probably go ahead and start stripping everything off of here, refinish, vapor blast, any of the necessities that it needs. It has a lot of aftermarket components already. We've got the Tomei cast manifolds, those new aftermarket HKS cast elbows. Obviously the AC system goes, because this car is going to be far past any sort of amenities. It's currently Gitrag equipped. We're tentatively considering possibly leaving the Gitrag in while we go through the teething pains of the car. But if a sequential option comes up that can harness all-wheel drive, then that's most likely what we're gonna do. So he's talking to a couple of different companies. I'm just not sure what the final verdict is gonna be for now. So for now, we keep the Getrag, and we'll kind of figure it out as the car gets closer to the final assembly stage, since transmission and all that kind of stuff is most likely gonna be last. So yeah, I think I'll probably catch you guys up on a lot more whenever the car gets back from Austin, because I could sit here and bore you for 10 more minutes, 20 more minutes about all the stuff that we have in store, all the parts that are here, yada yada, but you'll start to get the idea as the build develops and progresses. So hopefully you find any of this kind of stuff interesting enough to want to follow and keep up with. It's sort of a rare deal that somebody is willing to sacrifice a 34 GTR and actually use it for its original intended purpose. And I'm completely on board with it. The customer is really awesome to work with. He's got great ideas, great vision, and it always makes a project go easier whenever you kind of both see eye to eye. So yeah, I think overall it's going to be a really fun and interesting project. So if you're interested in more, feel free to follow along, and I'll keep this updated. I'll try to get you some updates as the car is in roll cage phase, but most likely it'll probably be after it gets back, so I can kind of go through everything that happened in depth. And in the meantime, I've got some other cars, like this 33 is getting a lot of underhood treatment, and I'll kind of go over the specifics of what all I've done after it's all finished. But yeah, to give you an idea for now, the whole idea behind this car was to modernize it. It came in with an eBay intake manifold, a 4-inch manual throttle body, yada yada. We went ahead and swapped to the far superior Hypertune setup. I relocated the throttle body flange back a little bit so that we could make the original side hole exit. Excuse this was the previous cut from how the old pipe was routed. I modified a Bosch drive-by-wire throttle body with a vibrant ferrule, and then went ahead and constructed a new titanium cold pipe to match with the new routing and the new setup. I'll end up doing a catch can. I'll end up doing a full bleeder setup for the lower bleeds, probably do a remote bleed tank for the upper bleeds, new radiator, get the cooling system set up, and like I said, mostly just modernize the car, and then it goes to Art of Assembly for a Motec setup and all the rest of the fun bits and tuning and everything else. So this one should be just as interesting. While the white 34 is gone, another 34 is coming in for a very similar treatment, and we'll just keep all this stuff rolling. So if it's interesting to you, let me know. Comment, let me know what you'd like to see, if you'd like to see something different, or if you're cool with it, or if you're not cool with it. Personally, I don't care, but any feedback is feedback, so would appreciate to know. So yeah, that's about all that's going on. I'll fill you guys in a little bit more later.